You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Welcome everyone to episode 7 of MC True Long Island Story. I am your host, the internet champion, always ready, Matt Cardona.
I'm also here, producer of the show, Smart Mark Sterling Esquire, and this show is now officially...
We're just getting into it, huh?
We're going to get into it.
Ooh,
It's
baby.
officially brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon. Let's crack one open right now.
Oh, absolutely. I can't get it. I can't get it. We're live, pal. I can't get it.
Now, you think Pabst Blue Ribbon, right?
All right, here we go.
You got the light beers. That's what everybody thinks about. But did you know that they have these stronger seltzers? 8%.
I just found out about it, and it's lime. So like maybe Zack Ryder's drink of choice on Z True Long Island Story was the Bud Light Lime.
Bro,
We talk about Figure Fate on the Major Wrestling podcast.
Loved White Claws, right? Zack Ryder would have loved seltzers.
Oh, this would have been his drink. The PBR Stronger Seltzer, 8% alcohol by volume, lime.
1 gram of
PBR
sugar.
lime.
170 calories in this.
Full disclosure, I've never taken a sip of it until right now.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Very good.
Oh.
Refreshing.
Oh.
Refreshing.
PBR, thank you so much. The tag team, the Major Wrestling podcast and PBR, use the hashtag Major Mark. Drink up.
Major
Drink
PBR,
up.
you mean?
What'd I say?
You said Major Mark.
Oh, use the hashtag Major PBR. Be a Major Mark.
Yeah.
Drink up. And we're very excited about this tag team, this new partnership, and let's see how far we could take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll hear a little bit more about it in the official ad later on in the show. But Broski, you just got back from, I guess, a Forbidden Door trip. How'd it go? You have a good time?
A Forbidden Door?
You're just hanging out with all different wrestlers this weekend for Chelsea's birthday.
They're my friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're breaking down the Forbidden Doors.
Listen, I mean,
With your foot.
I'm giving my reboot right through that door. No, it was Chelsea's birthday celebration weekend. We rented a house in Jacksonville. Oink.
Confirmed.
And it was a lot of fun. You know what was the drink of choice all weekend?
I'd love to know.
The PBR, the beer, the cans. I actually took a picture, and I said something like, I like my cans, or I love my cans, and I put it in between a girl's breasts, the can of PBR.
We don't know which girl, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't know which girl. It was my fiance.
Yeah, right. Welcome to Good Housekeeping. I got a little bit of a follow-up from actually a couple episodes ago.
I got a couple things as well. You go ahead, Mark.
Okay, CJ Martin reached out to me.
Okay.
I'm just going to read this. He said, "Hey, Mark, just wanted to drop a quick question or observation about the new MC True Long Island Story episode. Perhaps Matt and yourself touched on this, so sorry for taking some time if you did. We didn't. I looked up the Kozlov match that we were talking about. Remember that Kozlov match?
Yes.
Early in the match, Scott Stanford is commentating, and he mentions your YouTube show. And he tells Josh Matthews on commentary about how Zack is a YouTube sensation, name drops the show, and says one day, maybe Zack will let them be on. And then the next week, Scott's on. And he says, I don't know if this would help the pod, but it was the first time, he thinks it's the first time that the YouTube show is mentioned on WWE TV officially.
Yeah.
And the follow-up question is, did Scott doing that make you ask him sort of to be in the show, or you kind of were just talking to him, I guess?
Scott was somebody who, I've mentioned before, was trying to, do the best job possible, but wanted to get to that next level. I mean, Superstars is great, but you want to be the commentator on Raw.
Sure.
So he was always very interactive with the talent. Hey, what can I get over for you, put over for you in the match? So I would tell him. And Scott's actually the one, I believe, who just named the Broski boot, just called, the Broski boot. He hits him with the Broski boot. Okay. Because Scott was always very witty, very, creative. So he probably, I don't know exactly what happened, whether he just name dropped it or I asked him to name drop it, but either or, he name dropped it,
nice.
Which was great.
Yeah.
And no one, when I say no one within WWE of any, importance is watching Superstars or listening to the commentary. That's why it gets through the cracks.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to if you're a commentator on Raw or SmackDown, Vince McMahon is literally in your headpiece feeding you lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen on Superstars.
No one cares.
Really? Huh,
no one cares. I mean, there might be someone feeding them lines, but it's definitely not Vince.
Got it.
Huh. And honestly, I don't think anyone's feeding them lines on those shows, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
All
right. What do you got for follow-up?
A couple things. So Big O. Everyone, knows the Big O. Remembers the Big O.
Well, we had the Big O debut episode 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He still won't contact me, but I guess he heard the podcast.
Okay.
Because he reached out through somebody to tell me that his debut promo wasn't in like an elementary school or a high school field. It was in a park in East Meadow, New York called Spino Park. And also that he did it in one take.
Oh.
So he must be listening.
Okay.
So Big O, if you're listening.
Yes.
If you're listening so carefully that you can send in corrections.
Right.
All we want to do is have you on the pod. That's it.
Yeah.
Shoot the shit. Half hour, 45 minutes.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yes.
That's it.
I agree.
Couple other things. In the Are You Serious Bro tweet of the week, you didn't put the jingle in, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I forgot it. You're right.
All right. Well, we'll add that in.
Okay.
We talked about the Zack Ryder Gnome Club last week.
Yeah.
Chris Sweeney, a.k.a. WTW legend Fallen Angel, posted a picture. He still has it in front of his house, and it's seen better days.
Right.
But you got to add Chris Sweeney to the Gnome Club. So, guys, if you are out there and you had or have the Zack Ryder Garden Gnome, please.
You have to have it still, not I had it once.
Well, if you had it, let's see a picture of it.
Okay, right, okay.
Right.
Proof that you had it.
Please send in a picture and you'll be in the Gnome Club.
It's funny that like everybody has it. You just gave them all out for Christmas one year. It was just like stocking stuffers.
I'll never forget Chiappetta. He took one of mine and he brought it like into his job as like, I don't know, a show and tell or just to brag that he is my roommate, and he dropped it and it shattered. I wanted to kill him.
Oh, wow.
We'll get into it later. He does a spin-off show, Chi, True Long Island Story. It almost ends our whole friendship.
Wait, really?
You didn't know about this?
I knew he did it. I didn't know that almost ended your friendship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You were mad that he did it?
No. I wasn't mad that he did it. I was very supportive that he did it. Okay. I was mad.
He built a brand behind your back.
No, I was mad. It was after, I guess it's WrestleMania 28. He takes all my WrestleMania like ring worn gear and gives it out to his cast to wear for some like League of Their Own baseball skit in his show. It's all covered in dirt and dust and mud. It's my WrestleMania gear. I was shaking with anger.
My God. Sometimes you're unwarranted for the shake, but
that's a warranted shake.
100%
because they sold Zack Ryder wristbands and sunglasses, obviously, and I knew the exact ones that I wore at WrestleMania, and I had them put aside, and then he took them and mixed them up with like brand new ones. So there's no way to tell which ones I wore at WrestleMania and which ones I didn't, because they were merch items, and I wanted to strangle him.
That sucks. Back to this merch thing. Quick question. Yeah. Would you give family members Zack Ryder merch for Christmas?
No.
You never did that?
No.
Like you just get a bunch of like gnomes and dog tags?
No. Mike Chiappetta, we keep bringing him up. Chiappetta, he wanted to get noticed so bad that he wore the Broski with the spiked hair shirt every single day. And it wasn't the same shirt. It was like Doug Funny, just a closet full of the same exact shirt. It wasn't the same exact one, but the same exact shirt, if that makes sense.
Right.
And he wore that every single day to get noticed, and it worked. He got some babes from wearing that shirt.
Oh, noticed. I see. I'm like,
Yeah.
noticed like what? For the WWE? Like,
No, you're Chiapetta from the show.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Recognized. Yeah.
Recognized,
Okay.
right.
What else you got for follow-up?
Couple other things. Our good friend Big Glenn Kane inducted.
Congrats.
Inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I tried to find some good, nice images of us on Google. I just found him, choke slamming me off a loading dock,
Pulling you in
choke
the ring.
slamming me through a stage, pulling me in a ring. Triple H told me that day that I oversold that.
Oversold the getting pulled through a
Yes,
hole.
I oversold getting dragged to hell. The wheel, the wheelchair incident. But I love Big Glenn, one of the good guys in this business.
We've talked about this before. I don't think people know this. You traveled with him.
I traveled with Big Glenn. And this whole storyline was the end of that because we couldn't travel together anymore. We would ride together, and like Big Glenn and I, we don't have much in common besides our love for pro wrestling.
Yep.
It's such a different, like, an age,
Yeah.
demographic. He's a grown man. At the time, I was like a 25, 26-year-old kid. So as I couldn't like tell him about the stories of me like out at the club with my boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to pass the time, I would just play like the best of Scott Steiner promos, stuff like that, or like Ultimate Warrior promos, and that's how we would bond. But I'm
a great party thing, by the way. Put on a best of Scott Steiner
Yeah.
promos just in the background at a party. Drink some Pabst stronger seltzer. You'll
But
have a great time.
I'm super happy for Big Glenn. He actually tweeted me back. I don't know if it was actually him who tweeted me back or somebody who was working in WWE.
These people.
But hey, Glenn, if you're listening, I love you, and I'm very, very proud of you. And I don't take it personally that you ruined my little run.
Well, he'll be a big topic of the show.
Next year. This time next year. Woo! We might have to get Big Glenn. Big Glenn
on the-
take a
we have
shot.
to
Take a
get him on.
swig. Take a swig of the PBR.
I don't think that he's very busy, to be honest. What's he even doing?
Come on. That's a joke, right? Okay. I have something in here. Oh, the headbands. The headbands are now for sale. Broski of the Week headbands, MattCardonaMerch.com. And I think that's the perfect segue for the Broski of the Week.
The Broski of the Week.
All right, the Broski of the Week. Real simple, guys. All you got, actually, it's not that simple, but it is pretty simple. You have to find the pinned tweet on my Twitter at the Matt Cardona, quote tweet it, and in that quote tweet, screenshot the review that you have left for this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever, and use the hashtag Broski of the Week. So the winner this week and the Broski of the Week, they'll be getting a headband. They'll be getting the sticker.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be getting the 8x10.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of the Broski of the Week, let me find this,
Is
is a little drum roll. Uh-oh. Now, Vic Joseph just texted me. Vic, you're messing up my Broski of the Week segment. Where are we here?
This is the longest drum roll ever.
Oh my God. Where is
It's
it?
a brookie.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, there we go.
At Hunter Raynor 93.
Hunter
You are the
sounds like-
Broski. No. He was the Broski of the Week once. But Hunter Raynor, he is the Broski of the Week. His review says, growing up during the Z True Long Island Story era was a great time in my life. Waking up and seeing a new episode made my week. Thanks to Matt, Zack, and his inspiration, I'm now an independent wrestler putting the work in and being hashtag always ready. Growing up, I had two dreams. One, become a professional wrestler. Done. Two, be Broski of the Week. So, Matt, make both of my childhood dreams come true by making me the Broski of the Week. Well, Hunter, you are the Broski of the Week. Thanks, bud.
Making dreams come true here.
That's what we do here.
Quick follow-up. Last week, we talked about that guy we met who was Broski of the Week, and he made that internet championship.
Yes.
Are you aware that he is also an independent professional wrestler?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
See? You learn something new every day.
So you spawned all these careers. It's pretty cool.
All right, that's all I got for follow-up. Good little episode this week.
Yeah.
A little controversial.
We'll get to it. I think there's some good
All
stuff.
right.
Quickly, let's hear a little word from our sponsors.
The Major Pod Network has a new tag team partner, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Everybody needs some liquid courage to make their own weekly purchases. Scratch that figure itch and scratch that PBR itch.
Get your PBR beer, get your PBR hard coffee, and get your PBR stronger seltzer.
8%? If you're listening to this, you're already a major mark. Now it's time to become a major PBR mark.
Use the hashtag MajorPBR and post your pictures and videos of you major marking out.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Major Pod Network, the new tag team champions of the world.
Of the world!
But we're definitely not getting any new figures from Mattel.
And we're back. All right. Tweets this week. You said, inside my fortune cookie, it said, you are indeed the ultimate broski. Just trying to make jokes.
I don't think it said that.
You said two separate tweets. Follow the Big O at the Big O Zone. Woo woo, you know it. And then right after that, follow the Big O at Big O Big Broski. So I guess he was changing his name and whatever. Trying to figure out
that's not it anymore. Now I believe it's still at it's the Big O.
Right, which is better.
I like that.
You said, unfortunately, my dad doesn't have a Twitter account. Big O is getting one soon. That's what you said before.
I did later on make a Twitter account for my dad that I think is still up there.
I was going to ask you that. He's not tweeting?
He was never. It was always me. It was me all along.
When I was in high school, this one had a lot. Okay. I've been looking at a lot of your tweets from 2011. Now, when you talk about tweets, you often see a tweet that would get like 170 likes or just from people. Nowadays, it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Back then, Zack Ryder, WWE superstar, a lot of your tweets didn't have 2011, not many people on Twitter.
Right.
You know? So this one had a lot of likes,
Okay.
like 1,000 or something. But so here it was. When I was in high school, some kids used to give me a hard time about wanting to be in the WWE. I wonder how many Twitter followers they have. Thought that was a good one.
I still mean that.
What would they say?
No, I think I wasn't, the star athlete in high school. I wasn't the biggest guy. So when everyone is going, to their guidance counselor and picking the colleges they're going to apply for, and I'm saying I'm going to be a WWE superstar, I'm going to wrestling school, a lot of people didn't take me seriously, didn't think I'd succeed. And not that I had a chip on my shoulder about it, but like years later when I would go to the local bars and they'd come up to me and be like, buddy, buddy, like I never forgot. So I wasn't buddy, buddy with them. Like, I don't think so.
That's great. Love
Never
that.
forget.
At Raw in Chicago 3 years ago, it was me, Edge, and at Mex Warrior. And Kurt Hawkins versus Flair and Shawn Michaels. And tonight it's me versus catering.
That cage match was awesome. I mean, how many wrestlers, especially my age, can say that they've wrestled Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair in a steel cage match
I butchered
in
that
Chicago?
So what was the match?
It was myself, Chavo, Edge, and Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers, against Flair and Shawn in a handicapped steel cage match in Chicago. It was an awesome night. Flair bled. I remember I just kept hitting him and hoping like his blood, and I kind of like run my like wristband into his blood because I wanted to keep him. I still think I got him somewhere in my garage, like bloody rated R, because like I was wearing the rated R wristbands. And then after
I wonder
Shawn,
how many wrestlers out there are trying to get their wristbands bloody to keep them. That is crazy, but I get it.
And then Shawn was super cool, giving us advice after the match. That's the famous story where I knew the Edgeheads were dead in the water. This is before WrestleMania. This is before their big retirement match. And Shawn has this promo on Raw, and he's either going to challenge us or accept the challenge for SmackDown. And instead of saying Edge, Kurt Hawkins, and Zack Ryder, he says Edge, clearly forgets our names, and says Edge and those two Edge guys. And like I knew, I'm like, oh no, all the boys watching like on the monitor popped. Like I knew we're just done after this. Like, there's no coming back from this.
So the match. So this match is fascinating to me. So whatever. Is it a mini segment main event match?
I know you're gonna hate when I say I don't recall, but it was the main event of SmackDown. I assume it was a 2-segment match. I don't even know who won, to be honest.
I'm gonna have to watch.
But it was really fun. It was a cool experience, wrestling Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, and I believe that's the only time I wrestled either of them. So
now, is this something you guys would focus on throughout the day? And this is a big deal. This is a main event cage match on a SmackDown.
Yeah.
To Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, probably not. So.
Oh, to us, it's the biggest deal ever.
Right. So, how I know you guys have no control in this situation. Is this something put together very quickly, or are they taking this seriously and talking about it all day?
I think they're taking it seriously because they don't know us, they don't trust us, so they want to make sure that we're going to deliver, not hurt them.
Okay. All right. That's it for tweets. Now, let's talk about matches. Now, I did say last week, I kind of jumped the gun. I said that there were some really insane matches that I wanted to talk about, but they actually happens after this show. So this show that we're going to talk about, episode 7, drops on the 31st of March. These crazy matches I was talking about happen after that during Mania week. So we're going to get to that next week. But you put up last week's show, episode 6, on the 24th.
Okay.
You then fly out on the 25th to Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois.
Okay.
And you lose to you lose to the Great Khali at a house show in 20 seconds.
Sounds about right.
You then drive to another house show, Roberts Stadium in Evansville, Indiana.
Yep.
You lose to the Great Khali. That's the 26th. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Great Khali defeats Zack Ryder one more time at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's a nice
little loopski.
Illinois loops against
Great Khali. Another.
Let's talk about the Great Khali.
Hall of Famer Khali. I love Great Khali. I met Great Khali in Deep South Wrestling.
Right.
We would have Dalip duty because that's his shoot name, Dalip. And what would happen is somebody would be in charge of him for the whole week. So since we're the Major Brothers, I guess the Major Brothers just had to do it together, And it was, if you already went to the gym, doesn't matter. If he wants to go to the gym, you go back, Wow. If he wants to go to the grocery store, you take him to the grocery store. If he wants to go to Walmart, you take him to Walmart. And then there would be certain practices where you just bump and feed for him all day. But
I heard this, the Khali practices.
Yeah.
Shoot chops.
Yeah. I remember one time it was a loop, myself, Brian, and Khali, and we were able to drive back to McDonough, Georgia. We were all living, within driving distance from each other because McDonough is so small. And Khali gets out of the car and he starts walking back. And I'm like, oh, he's going to give us money for gas, trans money, right? And he just reaches in and grabs his cigarettes that he forgot.
Swankle said he used to travel with him a lot, right?
That's an odd crew. But then later on the road, WWE would assign people to ride with him. And I did that a couple times, but they'd pay for your rental car and stuff like that. So it wasn't a bad gig.
Is it just because he doesn't speak good English or just not?
Well, because he doesn't really, I don't think he drives. So we need someone to drive him, stuff like that.
You have to get a super extra large car?
Yeah, in theory. But then every time I worked him, he was always super safe, always took care of me, always gave me offense. Well, maybe not in that match I lost in, what do you say, 10 seconds?
Right, 20 seconds, yeah.
But I worked him a bunch of times. So I always enjoyed working him. It was always a night off. The chop to the head, wasn't the best. But I love working him. And I think one of the matches that you're talking about for next week is Great Khali because it was an access match, I recall.
Yeah, there's another Great Khali thing next week for sure.
Yeah, so I'm super happy for him that he's in the Hall of Fame. This guy is an attraction, right? Super huge deal, especially for, India and what he's done and open the doors to so many people. World champion. I mean, how can you deny that he's a Hall of Famer?
Right. Just the star power.
I think he belongs in
Indiana alone for sure. I'm Indiana. Sorry. I'm thinking Indiana. The Indiana Loop. All right. Now here's the deal. We're building up I'll just tell you real quick. SmackDown, March 25th. Kurt Hawkins, by the way, on March 25th, faces Trent in a dark match. And in the main event, Christian beats Alberto Del Rio. They're still headed to that Edge Alberto Del Rio match at Mania. Raw, March 28th. This is after the Great Khali matches. You've got theoretically nothing. You don't do anything on TV. You might have been on Superstars. Who knows? That is from Chicago, Allstate Arena. 3.8 rating. One thing I noticed about this episode of Raw, okay? The go-home show to Mania.
Okay.
There is 17 minutes and 30 seconds of professional wrestling on this show. Total. I counted the matches. That's insane. But the main event situation is Miz, Cena, and The Rock just setting up. Also, they do a little angle with Snooki because they're, going home to do that match at Mania. So that's what's going on Raw. Now, you do these house shows, the Indiana Loop, you're in Chicago. WrestleMania is in Atlanta.
Right.
What do you do there? So then you don't go home. Do you go home?
We don't go home. We fly right there. It's WrestleMania week, appearances, meet and greets, access. It's a whole week,
What? So that's a hell of a... Do you bring 2 bags? Because you got to do this whole house show loop. Plus, you must have your WrestleMania stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, definitely 2 bags for that. 2 check bags. Yeah, you always have your gear bag, carrying your gear. Yeah, definitely 2 check bags.
So you would pack more for a trip like this?
Yeah, because it's not like I'm doing laundry in the the TV hotel where they're putting us up, and where I'm just not. I guess, but so I just bring extra clothes.
So this is the first time that you're not going home after to film your show.
So the show is on the road, baby. This is the first time that I'm on the road doing the show. Later on, I do that a bunch, actually. But this is the first time where I'm like, okay, we got to do it. Because I knew even then, the show must go on. If the show comes out Thursdays, it's got to come out Thursdays.
So at some point it hits you, oh, crap, I have to bring everything I need for this episode. I have to bring my computer to edit it there, right?
Right.
Okay.
So at this time, I'm just using a laptop and a flip. So I'm really not bringing that much.
Right. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Episode 7. You open up in Atlanta. You mentioned that.
In my hotel room.
Hotel room set. You've got
I'm wearing that free WrestleMania shirt. When you would check into the WrestleMania hotel, it kind of changes every year, but you get a little goodie bag of a WrestleMania shirt, hat, hoodie, maybe the program, stuff like that.
Is it to your size? Do they know
Well, there's bags of larges, bags of XLs,
Okay.
So my MO is I would take the large, and then throughout the week I'd sneak down and steal as many as I could.
What do you do with this stuff?
Give it to my dad, my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
One year, my buddy was press at he doesn't like wrestling at all.
Right.
And I came home one day, a week after WrestleMania, and there was this huge package, and it was one of those swag packages, and it's nice. I have so much. It's the first WrestleMania in New Orleans. Nice hoodie. I still wear it. It's great.
Yeah, and they'd always have bottles of water and bananas and gum down there. So every time I'd go down, I'd always bring my gym bag and throw in as many bottles of water as possible, as many bananas as I could, steal a pack of gum.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I noticed that there was a couple. You say something and then you're doing a transition and you haven't even really finished your sentence.
My editing skills aren't the best.
You're still getting better.
I'm still getting it. Yeah. Working out the kinks. Topical LOD is going into the Hall of Fame. Okay. So I had pre-recorded this, a little pre-record.
I was wondering that.
Where I knew I was going to do this skit. So I had the foam LOD, shoulder pads, wristbands. I said woo, 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 or something like that.
You
just
shot
a little
it
tie-in.
At your house and you brought
shot it.
Yeah,
just kept the clip.
Okay, smart.
Little
quick
Ziggler
Easter egg.
With
the figures. Got
Ziggler and Venkman.
Yep, holding your headband.
I just threw those in as a little Easter egg. Eventually, I drop it. We'll figure out when I drop it.
Right.
Next is this weird skit that I definitely filmed on that loop that weekend, and I vividly remember Alex Riley filming it for me. Okay. And I think I was just stuck for material. What am I going to, every week I have to come up with new stuff. So I didn't quite have much in the can, especially I had this LOD thing. And then I didn't have much, and I wasn't going to have all this time because I knew I'd have access, autograph signings, all that BS, during Mania week.
So you filmed this whole segment where you're shaving yourself and narrowing yourself, and I'm like, oh man, what's the payoff here?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be one of those WWE like jabs, but it really is just so you can do the Home Alone.
That's all it is. It's a long setup to do the Home Alone, and like my body hair is disgusting. Like if I don't shave and nair for a week, it like all connects like traps.
I didn't
back,
realize that.
Neck to neck, back to the neck to front of the neck, ears. But this flip camera was so not high quality that it doesn't really quite pick it up. And I don't know that
when it gets to the neck, your neck
it was so much worse in real life. Yeah. And like I filmed this whole skit, which is like a minute, and then I go to edit it. I'm like, oh, you can't really even see the hair, but it is what it is. I need something.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Home Alone thing is the payoff. Which I had to get in. I loved getting in like pop culture references to things I really loved and slide them into the show.
Yeah, not the greatest joke.
It wasn't the greatest skit.
This next part popped me huge. This is the debut of Trent. He's the broski of the week.
That's right.
And he's doing one of the most insane tricks I've ever seen in my life on an escalator.
He's just
around.
Like spinning around with the up and the down, and he's spinning. I think it was as simple as we just went out that night and I had my flip camera on me, or maybe that's my cell phone,
Do you just carry that in your pocket?
I think for this week I did, because you never know what's going to happen, especially WrestleMania week. Right. There's people everywhere, Okay.
Like that. Obviously Trent comes back as like an actual character. So this is really good. All right. I want to skip the next thing because this is a big part.
Okay.
So we'll come back to that. But I did want to ask you, so then you do this segment about how you're not wrestling on WrestleMania.
Right.
And you're sad about it.
Right.
And then you make a Dennis Stamp joke.
From Beyond the Mat.
Gets me right here.
Sure.
Love the Dennis Stamp joke. Still use it on Twitter now. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Dennis Stamp was the character in Beyond the Mat who was friends with Terry Funk, who was not booked at Terry Funk's retirement show and was very upset. And he does this thing where he says he's always ready. he's always training. And they show him get on a trampoline like naked with these
he's in his underwear.
Like jumping. It's the most ridiculous workout ever, but he's saying he's always ready to get in the ring.
Right.
He could always do it. Whatever.
Right.
So that's like, and he's just like, I'm not booked, Terry. It's just like a famous wrestling quote.
Yes.
So you make that joke.
And not only that, I'm actually jumping on a trampoline in my hotel room.
Okay, so this brings me to the Know Your Bro question of the week. Dingus the Clown at Terror Tunes. Did you really bring the foam LOD shoulder pads and a mini trampoline with you to WrestleMania to film those bits in episode 7?
Okay, to answer the first question, no, I filmed the LOD thing the week prior.
Right.
And usually everyone's different on the road. Everyone has their different routine, especially on a Mania week. That first day I land, usually like me and Ziggler, we go to a Target or a Walmart and we just stock up. We stock up for the week on food, water, because on a WrestleMania week, they're paying for your hotel for the whatever, almost a week that you're there, which is great, right? Because usually you pay for your own hotel.
Yeah.
But every single meal of the day is on you. So I eat a lot. So like, I'm trying to save money. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save. Mm-hmm. So I'd always go to Walmart, and then of course you gotta get the tanner, all that stuff. But while I was there, I picked up a mini trampoline and some dumbbells for this skit. And I left them in the hotel room. So room service the next week. I don't know if they brought it to the kid, they brought it to the hotel gym, but I donated a trampoline.
Okay. I mean, it can't be that expensive, I guess. Maybe $100.
It was something like that, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, look, that's how dedicated you are. Just throw. I
was very dedicated to my craft.
Right. All right. Here's the big deal. At some point, you say, hey, it's WrestleMania week, and I'm the talk of the town.
Right.
Let's see it. And you cut to footage given to you by Sports Rev TV.
Which is no longer a Twitter account.
It is no longer a Twitter account. It is some sports reporter or former sports
I believe
reporter.
His name is Jeremy Jacobowitz.
Okay.
Because the Twitter account is not active, so I wasn't able to go through the DMs. If somebody knows how to do that with an inactive account, let me know. So I searched Sports Rev TV into my Hotmail email that I still have. And I was able to find like the Twitter notifications that he had sent me a DM, but it doesn't show like my response.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was, bringing up some memories. And I actually sent one to you earlier. Here it says, do you want me to cut up the part of them just talking about you and the show? Then I can email you a link to download. So that's what happened. So he tweeted me, WrestleMania week, people are doing press, and it happens even now, like, Sam Roberts, whatever, and they'll interview somebody, and then they'll tag the person, and then, and that's it. But I saw this, I was like, ooh, this is material.
So this guy asks Miz in the main event of WrestleMania, John Cena,
who's the WWE champion.
Yeah, John Cena, the main event of WrestleMania, the challenger, and Triple H, seemingly I'm not sure what he is in 2011, but some sort of high up person.
Mark, can we just play the footage?
Yes.
Because I don't want to misquote somebody.
Yes, we can play it, and we can play it because he gave you this footage, and it is yours.
That's right.
One last question. Why isn't Zack Ryder on television?
I know, right? Do we watch the Z True Long Island Story?
Absolutely.
Arguably the greatest webisode on the internet right now. And I don't know why he isn't on TV. I want to see him. I think everyone wants to see him on TV. He is the ultimate Broski.
Will you be appearing on the show?
What's that?
Will you be appearing on his show?
Well, I've already been Broski of the Week. I mean, I don't mean to brag about it or anything. So, who knows? I mean, I like to let him do his own thing. And if he asks me to be on it, I may be on it or I may not. If he has seen it before me, then no. But if he asked me before seen it, okay.
Why isn't Zack Ryder on television?
Broskis want him on Raw.
Yeah. Oh, you and which other one?
I think there are a lot of us, right?
What, 3 or 4 maybe? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably for that reason. There's the 3 or the 4. No, listen, we got a lot of young guys, and guys like Zack Ryder. I'm hoping that they're the future of this business. When you turn the clock ahead, and the Triple H's and the Undertakers and the Shawn Michaels are gone, and the Cenas and the Rocks and all these guys are gone. Hopefully these are the guys that are filling in those slots, and hopefully maybe one day we'll be standing here and Zack Ryder will be at that podium talking about his main event at WrestleMania.
Because apparently the writers don't know it. Woo woo woo, bro. I think one of the best shows on YouTube is True Long Island Story. I love the kid. I think he's got a ton of personality. I'm looking forward to my guest spot on the show. I think he's going to be filming at WrestleMania. I'm going to try to sneak an interview in. But you got something with that Zack Ryder kid. I'm glad we're on the same team here. Woo woo woo. You know it. Is it this one or the other one? Long Island?
I think it's the opposite way.
Long
there we go. Yeah. Perfect.
There we go. That's the one. That's the
Definitely.
one. Work in progress, but I'm working on it. Only he can do it right.
All right. So that's it, right? I mean, you can interpret that how you want to interpret it.
Okay.
I did not manipulate the footage.
Right.
I did not alter the footage.
Okay.
I also didn't complain about the footage. I said, I'm like, the talk of WrestleMania, the talk of the town. I didn't, put my spin on it. I didn't, put my interpretation or, put my narrative into it. I just played it as is. So what had happened was this was a press conference for WrestleMania that was done in New York City, I believe. And this guy was on the red carpet, genuinely asked those questions, sent them to me. And I said, I know that I need to have this in my show. But I also knew if I play this, there might be some repercussions. But then, I was also saying to myself, but I'm not fabricating this. I'm not creating this. This is out there publicly. Mm-hmm. So I should just put it in and take my chances. And ultimately, that's what I did.
Okay. So you're going back and forth. Did you talk to anybody about this? Were you like,
I'm sure Ziggler, Morrison, Miz, yeah.
And then they all see me. Miz is probably just like, yeah, you can use it.
He probably told me not to be honest.
Oh, really?
I don't remember. But at the end of the day, I put it in, right? So it doesn't matter who said yes, who said no. But that was one of the first times
By the way, Jamie Silverberg mentioned to me, friend of the show, he mentioned that he remembers seeing this and thinking, oh man, I don't think he should have done that. That's what he was saying. All right. So then what happened? So you put it in, you put the show up.
Put the show up.
Yippee-ki-yay, it's WrestleMania week.
Yeah. And I remember so Raw the next week, right?
Yeah.
It's also in Atlanta because that's where, WrestleMania was.
Yep.
And I passed by Stephanie McMahon, and she says something to the effect of, "I watched your YouTube show." And I said, "Oh, thanks a lot." And then she said something like, "I didn't say I liked it." And I was like, "Ooh."
You you did that, or you just kind of
No, in my head, I probably giggled like an idiot. You know what I'm saying, in real life. But
right.
in my head, I was like,
"What did she do? She laughed out of it, or she just?"
and that was it. So she could have been joking with me. Who knows?
Okay.
Right? But
Would she joke with somebody like
I think so.
that? Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, the footage speaks for itself, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that.
So you never talk to Triple H or John Cena or anybody about that?
That particular episode, no.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So this was the first time that somebody from The Office mentions the show to you?
Yes, and I think this is the first time it starts getting on the radar where people at least know what it is. And you could tell, it's like, okay, the WWE champion puts it over. John Cena, the face of the company, puts it over. And then someone who is in control kind of like brushes me off. But then, kind of turns it around.
Was there dirt sheets covering this, that you put this in and that this happened and whatever? Because this is pretty funny.
There probably was. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There might not have been.
I looked ahead. I thought it was this episode. I told you I was trying to figure out which episode I came in as a fan.
Yeah.
It was next episode. It was episode 8. And I think
episode
it was
8.
because of the buzz that this episode caused. You know what I mean? And then I watched this episode, and then I went back and watched the sort of evolution of the episodes.
Right. And I think, I had been doing those WWE is dropping the ball, stuff like that. And then you have someone in control.
You're literally
with some
telling
stroke.
her she's dropping the ball. I mean, she's creative at the time, right? Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying I'm saying that. And then I have Triple H basically saying what I'm saying WWE thinks about me.
Oh, right. Right. But I mean, if you're Stephanie McMahon and you're watching this show, you're saying WWE is dropping the ball. She's creative. So in essence, you are saying that she is dropping the ball.
I mean, that's not how I was.
Yeah, of course.
Trying to put it out there.
But she could take it that way.
Maybe, but who knows if she even saw that episode.
Right.
That prior episode. She said she saw this one. Whether she really did or not, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Now this interaction happens at Raw. Do you think are you cringing the whole day? Are you worried? You go to Ziggler and go, "I'm effed." What's the deal? Because if that happened to me, I'd sit in a corner for days.
Well, no, because this is kind of, what I wanted the whole time.
Okay.
Is I wanted this buzz. I wanted to get noticed. I didn't want to piss anybody off, but I knew that trying to get noticed might in turn piss some people off, and I was willing to take that risk because I was sick.
By that.
I was sick of, just doing nothing. Okay. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to just, and I get it, right? There's nothing wrong with people who sit back and just want to collect a check. I get it. That's fine. And I see that perspective, but that's not how I want to live my life. That's not how I want to, do business. That's not how I don't want to be the guy just sitting back collecting a check, and yes,
25.
Now at 35, then at 25.
Right.
I didn't want to be that guy. I always wanted to do more and work harder. And I knew that the opportunities weren't going to happen for me, which is fine. Not everybody can be the chosen one. Not everybody could be in a storyline every single week. Not everybody can be a champion. Not everyone can be that's just wrestling. I didn't take it personally, but I knew, okay, if I want to change my spot, if I want to change my position, then I have to do it because no one is going to do it for me.
That would have sent me in a tailspin of anxiety for 19 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about the finish of WrestleMania, how your WrestleMania week was, what you actually did at WrestleMania, the matches leading up to it, and then really insane Access match that you had.
There's a great one.
Yeah.
But Mark, we've got the Are You Serious Bro tweet of the week.
Yeah, let's get to that right after we hear a little word from our sponsors. And we're back. All right. Are you serious, bro? Tweet of the week.
Are you serious, bro?
It's really simple, guys. Just put a tweet out there. Use the hashtag Are You Serious, Bro? If it pops me, I'll pick it, and you'll get the 8x10. This is from at DisneyMike313. I stopped drinking, and now the Major Pod Network has a partnership with my favorite beer, Past Blue Ribbon. Are you serious, bro? Thought that was a perfect tweet. Strong seltzer, a little cheers ski for you. I know you don't drink anymore, but we'll take a sip for you.
Who, Disney Mike or me?
Well, Disney Mike. But yeah, I mean, back to the episode.
Well, characters debuted. Trent.
Yep.
No dad, no Big O this week. Okay, that's fine.
Took a week off.
268,343 views on that right now. Clock's in at 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Let me open my tracking sheet here.
I also say take care, spike your hair again. So I wonder, I got to watch next week if this is the beginning of the weekly catchphrase.
Real quick, Zack Ryder, 7 appearances. Scott Sanford, 3. Dad, 2. Ultimate Broski, 1. Big O, 2. Primo, 1. Trent, 1. So those are your appearances right now.
Yeah.
Figures, yes, there's a little figure thing in the week. And then the Broski of the week is Trent. So that's the rundown for the episode. Yeah, and that's all I have.
Yeah, this week, I remember being there in Atlanta, and Atlanta, not just Atlanta, but anytime you're at WrestleMania for the whole week, it's like not a party, but yeah, like you always go out with your friends, whether it be at the hotel bar or you find a cool local spot. So like doing this YouTube show, while it's my number one priority, it's like, okay, well, I have all these appearances to do that I'm like, contractually obligated to do. Plus I want to have fun with my friends. Plus I got to do this YouTube show. So it was like a hectic week, but I was loving it. I love just working hard. Even now, like I love putting in that effort and just making something happen. And it's not always going to be a success. Some things are going to flop. And at this time, I still didn't know, is this show going to take off? But I felt like it was finally starting to create something. Just the fact that someone on a red carpet for WrestleMania, he has a question to ask the WWE champion, The Miz. A question to ask Triple H. Who's Triple H? Hall of Famer, legend, right? Well, not even a Hall of Famer yet.
Yeah.
Or DX. He's in DX. They're in the Hall of
you're
Fame.
right. He is. Yeah.
But at the time, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's Triple H is Triple H. He's a big deal. Yeah. And then asking John Cena, who is like the face of the company. And one of the questions he asked is about me.
Yeah.
And Z True Long Island story. So right. I knew we were onto something. And then to hear The Miz put me over. Who's my friend, right? He's a WWE champion.
He could have blown it off.
Right. Cena
puts you over the best.
He even does the LI the wrong way. Like other side jackass, right?
He knew your whole thing, he put you over, it's huge, but that's, it seemed to, I don't know John Cena, but it seems to me that's the kind of guy he is.
Right. And, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't disheartening to hear the Triple H comments.
He was.
He was pissed. What? It was just like, okay, so all these feelings that I do have, and that's the thing. Everything that I was saying on the show so far was really just backed up by his response. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it almost made you more of like the underdog.
Right.
It's like you're in the heat. You're getting beat up. People are now going to get on your side even more.
Right. But even then, I wasn't complaining about it.
Right.
I didn't say, here's a clip of WWE Champion The Miz and John Cena put me over and Triple H saying, that who wants to see me? I didn't say that. I put it over like, oh my God, even Triple H talked about me.
Right, which is great.
And that's how you got to do it, right? Nobody wants to listen to someone being bitter. Even now, I'm not bitter about any of it. You know what I'm saying? Do I wish some things had been different? Sure. But I blame myself for stuff like that. Like, I could have went up to Triple H myself and said, hey, what was the deal with that? Like, do we, but I didn't. So who knows?
Do we have heat, brother?
Yeah. So, like you got
walked up to Triple H and said, do we have heat, brother?
With the flip cam?
Yeah. Holy shit. You would have bought
Hey, but later Triple H is the Broski of the week. We get him on.
Right.
And in like some of the greatest footage in the history of the show, I have the flip camera. I'm really recording it. It gives me the pedigree. And I have the flip camera on. It's great. So it was fun. It was a fun time. One of the best times of my career. I'm not saying I wouldn't change anything. There are a couple things I would change.
Yep.
I don't want to live in regret by any means. Right. But it was a fun time, and this is where you finally start. Okay, I don't know how much it's going to work. I don't know where it's going to lead, but it's working.
Right.
And I think this is episode 7. I always remember is like, all right, we're on to something. What are we on to? I don't know, but we're on to something.
All right. Well, we're going to continue WrestleMania week next week, but ProWrestlingTees.com/MajorWFPod for all of our shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com/Matt Cardona. ProWrestlingTees.com/SmartMarkSterling. Plenty of shirts there to support the show. Patreon.com/MajorWFPod. You get these episodes early and ad-free, and then possibly a bonus episode in the future. You also get Matt's notes and my notes, and I take some pretty good notes for this show, so you can check that out. Today, I am wearing this really nice Arn and Tully and Barry and Rick 4 Horsemen shirt that I really love. I'm not even sure where I got it. I think I got it for a pressment, so that's me continuing my wrestling shirt thing.
Looks like a bootleg shirt to me.
FWF Live.
That's
April
right.
8th.
FWF Live, April 8th.
It's on sale right now.
April 1st, pre-orders start.
Yes, which is yesterday, technically.
Oh, well, okay. But yeah, I will be wrestling VSK for the Creative Pro Championship. This is really wrestling, guys. It's not, I know we do the FWF, the Figure Wrestling Federation with figures and figure photography, and that's still a thing, like go listen to that on the Major Pod Network feed. We have all season 1, but this is real wrestling, FWF.
We booked the wrestling show.
Booked a wrestling show. The Major Pod characters are there. You're in action, Mark. I'm in action. There's going to be some surprises, and my dad is going to be in attendance. So there's one Z trolling out of the story character there. I'm very, very excited for it. I'm very, pumped, nervous to see. Not that, I'm nervous to see, I guess, how well it does.
Yeah.
Only in the sense that I want to keep doing more. So I like just planning things and getting things going, but we got to see realistically how this one does, and then we could plan accordingly.
So patreon.com/FWF Live. The main tier, it's $40 to watch the pay-per-view, or it is $60 domestic to watch the pay-per-view plus get the FWF card, trading card, the mystery micro brawler,
Woo!
the FWF official limited zombie sailor pin. So you get a little merch pack there shipped by sponsor of the show. The whole thing brought to you by ProWrestlingTees.com.
That's right.
So, thank you very much. All right. Cheers to Paps. Thanks for jumping on with the Major Pod
That's right.
Network.
Hashtag Major PBR. This stronger seltzer.
Very good.
I mean, the beer is great. The hard coffee is great. But this, baby, this takes the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Take us out, Broski.
All right, guys. Like me on Facebook. And I'm going to keep saying it. If you know anybody at Facebook, a human being, yes. I really need to combine my pages.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and buy all the merch on MattCardonaMerch.com, including the headband. And take care. Spike your hair.
Just take care.